I went down to St Bees like a couple of days before, and I remember sleeping. I was starting on a Thursday morning. The Tuesday night I was kind of laid in my bed propping pillows up for my feet. It was not a position that you wanted to be in 2 days before you do the biggest thing you're ever going to do in your life. Nothing really that I wanted to do, as in I sat down and thought about it and decided that I would do the coast to coast, but rather I kept having a vision of wanting to run a long way before I was even running, and latched onto that thing of that I was going to do that for no real logical reason, because I'd never run more than 10 miles. So started running, built my distance up and forgot all about a coast to coast. So then in a bit of a lull, I guess, like I am now in the aftermath, thinking of what am I going to do next, just hit me like a, like lightning really, of it's time to do the coast to coast. So
7 out of 10.
7
out of 10. There you go. That's it. So 81199. What time you got lucky last night? Your name, a mark out.
Weather looks like it's not going to be too bad. Rain and then cloudy, so at least the heat's gone. But the wetness means my feet will probably cut a little bit more in slippy rocks, a few more falls, a bit slower, a bit more dangerous. Yeah, that's just how it is. So probably rather this than the heat though, so it's pretty good. Ready, mate, yeah, ready. Just waiting for my support runners who are making me late now. Stressing me out. I'd say the solid prep was probably 9 months. A lot of it was more logistical, learning the route, that kind of thing was more than I've ever done before. I knew I'd be responsible for getting myself across the country really. I knew most of my support runners was probably going to just be there to help me on the day, but wouldn't know the route. That's not ideal, but that's how it is, and you've got to take responsibility for getting yourself A to B really anyway, so, and I wanted it to be. So,
you put plans in place so I can run back as well?
With the coast to coast being more of a trek than what you would consider a run, my gait and how I was going to move was vitally important to stay injury free on that run and to be as efficient as I could. So I spent a lot of time, I changed completely how I moved just to be able to do that run. So I went back to the drawing board and ran differently.
Unbelievable. No, that one's better because it's...
Ask Bex how that hill is.
How's
the hill, Bex?
Oh, that is a bastard. It's horrible, that hill, isn't it? Bleep, bleep, bleep. Horrible.
It was saturated from the very off, and from the coast coming away from St Bees it was very overgrown and very wet, which meant I got wet, which meant my feet got wet, so I got blisters very early. By 50 miles my feet was already badly damaged, which I kind of did what I could at the checkpoints to try and prevent that, but very quickly, because of how saturated my feet were in the first 12 miles, I was having blisters by 30 miles and the end of my toes, and it was just one of them things that I could wish all day long that it wasn't going to be that way, but I just knew that the blisters were coming, and I don't normally suffer from blisters, so rather than cry and whinge about it, it was something that I just had to straight away accept and go, I'm going to do this with blisters, and that is the way it went, and that is the only real pain I had to deal with. So I was fortunate, and I was grateful, because I literally performed or ran, or whatever you want to call it. It was the greatest moments of my life. Of I felt the best and strongest that I've ever been, and so yeah, I can't not say that it wasn't difficult, but again, I can't say it was tough, because tough to me is something that perhaps you're having to do or you're not in control of, whereas I was, and I just found the whole idea of it, the whole thing of what I was doing, and fortunate enough to be able to do it, and grateful for that opportunity. It wasn't tough to me. It was something that I enjoyed and was able to enjoy. And the low moments or the harder moments, when they came, was accepted as, you know, as readily as the higher moments. And yeah, the peaks and troughs flow, but it was never a doubt in my mind that that was just something that was always going to happen, and a journey within itself.
Mate, I can't believe how sharp you're looking. I'm going to be fucking dying in an hour or two.
There's a race now, isn't it?
It's a race now.
There's a 50-mile race now, yeah?
Yeah, why not, James?
Cheers, everyone.
I feel that if you are doing something in life and it doesn't help other people, it's the wrong place to be. It's the wrong track. I would have never ever done this had it not been for someone else as well. If it didn't benefit other people, I wouldn't have started. But I know it was as much to help William as it was a process that I had to follow, you know.
Have you?
Oh, Jerry's in. Jerry's in.
Two there, I'm on in the finger. So
For everything to come off and come to plan is something you've got to be feeling privileged to be a part of. And I was just a part of it. Me running doesn't raise money, you know. It might provide a focal point, but the amount of work that was put in to that money be raised, and therefore help give William a brighter future, wasn't me. If you can't get a team around you that can raise money, you're not wasting your time, because you're perhaps creating awareness, and that's very important. But unfortunately, in today's age, you need money, and you can't ever deny that. People will get greater or lesser opportunity because of money. I don't sit too well with me, but that is life. So if you need money to do something as a treatment and as therapy, then we've got to go and get that money. It was, I never went into it expecting anything, but it was everything that you would have perhaps imagined it to be. And fortunate that the times where I thought I might have to have a real good talking to myself and really dig deep and really push through, that approach never came in. I never had to fight anything really. It was just working with what I had to get it done, and it's an experience very difficult to portray in words, and sits very deeply within, but I guess you just have to do something like it yourself.